Shelley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a baby jumper in double knitting yarn. This is variegated baby yarn, double knitting, and we're going to start by chaining 70 stitches. The jumper needs to have a slightly larger top than a cardigan because it needs to be pulled over baby's head, so I want it to be a nice comfortable size, so 70 stitches. So I've got our 70 chains, and the first thing to do is to find the third chain from the hook and do a treble crochet, and then you're going to treble crochet 10, and then after we've treble crocheted 10, we divide for the sleeve, so into the same stitch, treble, chain 1 and treble, and then treble 13, treble 11. Where did I get that number from? I don't know. So yeah, treble 11. And after you've trebled 11, again we'll divide for between the sleeve and the back. So you're gonna treble, chain, and treble into the same stitch as before, and then it's treble 21. So we've done the 21 stitches for the back, and now we're going to divide for the sleeve. So into the next stitch again we're going to treble, chain 1 and treble, and then we're going to treble 11 again, and then we're going to divide the sleeve and the front again, the other side, so treble, chain 1, treble, and then treble to the end. And now lay out the work so that you're absolutely sure it's flat, and we're going to join the two sides together. So if you make sure everything's lined up and facing the same way, and then slip stitch into the beginning of the previous row. That's not coming out quite right. It's just important that the Oh, it doesn't twist at this stage. There we go. So we're going to chain one, chain into the same, double crochet into the same stitch as the chain one, and then we're going to chain one again, and we're going to miss a stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain one, miss a stitch, and double crochet into the next one, chain one, miss a stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain one. Just continue to do that until you get to the divide. Miss the next stitch and double crochet into the divide space, chain one and double crochet, and then chain one, miss a stitch, double crochet, and just repeat till you get back to the beginning, making sure that you do a double crochet, chain one, double crochet into each divide space, and end the row with a chain one and a double crochet into the last stitch, and then slip stitch across to the other side. And then we're going to start the cluster stitch. So the row we've just done is the base row, and this is the cluster stitch row. So chain 3, and then insert the hook once, draw through a loop, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops, yarn again into the same stitch, pull a loop through, and then pull through 2 stitches, yarn over again into the same stitch, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn it over again and pull through the 4 loops that are left, and finish off with the chain 1. And you're going to do this into all the chain spaces except for, so pull a loop through, yarn over needle, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert again, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and insert again into the same stitch, pull a loop through, and then yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through 4 loops, and chain to finish. So yarn over into next chain space, pull yarn through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch again, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert into the same stitch again, pull through, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over again, through 4 loops, and chain to finish. So that's your basic cluster stitch, and you're going to be working one of them into every chain space except for the corner spaces, the divide spaces. And then we come to our first divide stitch. So you're just going to work a treble, chain and a treble into that stitch, and then you're going to carry on doing cluster stitches to the next divide stitch, and then you're going to treble, chain one, treble into that, and so on until you reach the end of the row. And when you get to the last cluster stitch, instead of finishing off with a chain, just finish off with a double crochet into the last stitch, and then slip stitch into the beginning chain. So the next row is the same as the one before the last one. So you chain one, double crochet into the base, chain one, miss a stitch, and double crochet into the next stitch, and just go round as you did for the previous row before the clusters. And those are the two rows that make up the pattern. So continue working in this pattern until your work measures about 4 inches. So we're up to 4 inches and we're on a cluster stitch row. So chain 3, work a cluster stitch into the first chain space, and then just continue to work cluster stitches until you get to the first divide. So now we're at the first divide, we're gonna double crochet into the first divide, we're gonna chain 4, and then we're gonna skip the sleeve part and go right into the divide at the other side of the sleeve. And double crochet 1, and then we're going to work along to the next sleeve. So just continue to work double clusters until you get to the other side of the sleeve. So now we're on the other side of the back. We're gonna chain 4 again, and then we're gonna go across to the other side of the sleeve and double crochet into the divide stitch on the other side, and then you're just going to cluster stitch to the end, and then you're going to work in cluster stitch until the sweater measures about another 5 to 6 inches depending on your preference. So now we've got to our 5 or 6 inches from the armhole spaces. We're going to do one last row of chain 1, miss a stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the cluster stitch, chain 1, and into the cluster stitch, chain 1, and we're just going to do that all the way around, and then just join with the slip stitch, and for the next row we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to work 2 trebles into each chain space. And just continue all the way around. So we've done our round of trebles, and now we're going to go on to do 3 rows of mock rib stitch. So chain 3, and then treble around the back post of the first treble, and then treble around the front post of the next treble. So back post, and front post, back post, and front post. And just continue to the end of the row and join with the slip stitch, and join with the slip stitch into the beginning chain. And the next row is exactly the same, chain 3, and where you've worked back post treble, work it again, and where you've worked a front post treble, work it again. And just complete the row as before, and then do a 3rd row in the same stitch. So now we've finished the bottom of the jumper, we're going to rejoin the yarn to the middle of the armpit area, and we're gonna chain 3, and work a cluster stitch into the next stitch. And finish with a chain. And just as with the body of the jumper, we're just going to work a cluster stitch in to each chain space. and just continue round and join with a slip stitch when you get back to the beginning again. And then join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain, and then chain one and work a double crochet into the same stitch, chain one, and then as before work a double crochet into the cluster stitch and chain one, chain into cluster stitch, chain one, and then just continue with the pattern as before with the body, and continue until the sleeve measures 6 inches. Okay, so now we've got the sleeve to the desired length. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to go into each one chain space as we did at the bottom of the jumper, and treble 2 all the way around. And just continue doing that until you get back to the beginning and join with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. And for the next row, as with the bottom of the jumper, we're going to chain 3 and work around the back post of the next stitch, and then work around the front post of the following stitch. So back post, and front post, and just continue doing that until you get to the end of the round and join with a slip stitch, and then do another 2 rows of the mock rib and fasten off. Okay, so now we've edged the bottom and we've edged the sleeves. The last thing we need to do is to rejoin the yarn to the neck, and just repeat the steps you followed to finish off the front post and back post, front post and back post, and just continue till you've done it all the way around the neckline, join with a slip stitch, and then do 2 more rows of the mock rib, and you're done.